No cost EMI is an option that you get to see everywhere nowadays with different products, whether that's offline or online. This is an option where you get to pay for an item you purchased in installments but without any additional interest. That is, you just pay the cost over a period of say 3, 6 or 12 months. In this video, I want to talk about two aspects regarding no cost EMI, and only if you fulfill those two aspects fully, you should go ahead with the no cost EMI option. Okay, so starting up with the first aspect, whether you can pay the full amount for the product at once or not. If you have the full amount to pay and you're still thinking of going for a no-cost EMI, because what do you have to lose? You need to rethink and check some things first. You see, for this we need to understand a bit as to how no-cost EMI works. If a product is priced at Rs 19,000 on Amazon and you go for a no-cost EMI for 6 months, Amazon shows that the interest for a normal EMI would have been $750, and since you're going for a no-cost EMI, it's providing you a discount of the same amount, and the total amount that you're paying in the end comes to Rs 19,000 only, which was the actual cost. This is how it's shown to you, but one thing which you need to understand is there is nothing as no-cost EMI in actuality. So normally, in order to avail this no-cost EMI, you use your credit card of a particular bank, or if you go to an offline shop, they will give you various financing options from various banks. And these banks will reimburse the seller and will collect the amount of the product from you in the form of EMIs. Now the bank, when they will charge you for the EMI, they will take an interest from you, but on a lower principal, and that's the reason when you get your credit card statement, you would see both a principal and the interest for the product which you purchased at a no-cost EMI. So in this purchase of 19,000 at a no-cost EMI, what is actually happening is you are purchasing a product worth Rs 18,250, and since you are purchasing this on an EMI, the interest that you're paying is $750, and the total amount which you're ultimately paying is 19,000. This is how it's actually happening, and this is how it's actually shown to you on the platform you're using to purchase the product. Now out of this Rs 19,000, Rs 750 is the interest which you're obviously paying to the bank, and the principal which the bank is recovering for you, that is Rs 18,250, that amount they have already reimbursed to the seller. So for this particular purchase of Rs 19,000, the seller is getting only Rs 18,250, and that's the reason they're showing that they're giving you a discount worth Rs 750. So one thing to wonder is, why would the seller or Amazon would take a hit of this Rs 750? Why would they be willing to give you this discount for a product which they are showing as Rs 19,000? Because if someone came and they did not avail the no-cost EMI, they would pay the entire 19,000. But if someone's taking the no-cost EMI, they are paying 18,250, and 750 is obviously going to the bank. Well, the reason for this is they know very well that they will make up for this discount that they're offering and a lot more through an increase in volume of the products that they sell. So they know that when people see no-cost EMI, they are more likely to buy a particular product. If you see a product that's listed at 18,250 and there is an EMI option that you see, and you would have to pay Rs 750 as interest in order to buy that product for a total of Rs 19,000. Compared to that, if you see the same product listed at Rs 19,000 and they tell you that you can buy that product for a no-cost EMI, which option will be more enticing to you? Obviously the second one, right? In both the cases, you will end up paying 19,000, but if you see a no-cost EMI, you are more likely to go ahead and purchase that product, and that's exactly what's happening. And that's the reason you get to see no-cost EMI everywhere nowadays, not only online, even in offline places. So how does this affect us as a consumer? Because irrespective of a no-cost EMI or not, at the end, we are paying 19,000 only. You see, now that we know that there is an interest component, every month, the interest which you pay, which is included in your EMI, a GST is charged on that interest at the rate of 18%. Now this is in addition to the EMI that you are paying every month, which is normally not shown, or you do not get to know when you see the EMI amount when you're buying the product. And in addition to that, there might also be a processing fee at the beginning when you're opting for a no-cost EMI. Now this amount might not be much if the price of the product that you're purchasing is not that much. For example, in this case, for a 19,000 rupees phone, the processing fee that is charged, that's 199, and if we calculate the GST on the interest of 750, that's coming to around 135. So in total you have to pay Rs 334, which is not that much, but if it's a higher priced product, the GST would obviously increase because the interest will also increase in that case. So these are the two charges which you should be aware of if you are opting for a no-cost EMI. Also, sometimes if you have the full amount for the product and you choose to pay that at once, there might be a discount that will be available if you pay the entire amount upfront. So make sure to go ahead and check that whether you're purchasing anything online or offline. Now this discount may not be necessarily provided for all the products and for the card that you have, but make sure you check this before deciding to right away selecting a no cost EMI option. Hence, if you have the entire money to pay for the price of the product, check the processing fee, the GST that will be applicable on the interest, calculate that, and also check if there is any upfront discount that's provided if you pay the entire amount at once, instead of right away jumping into a no cost EMI option. I would still suggest for you to not select a no cost EMI option if you can pay the entire amount, because you're unlikely to add more products in your cart because more money is going out of your pocket at once. When you have to pay a high amount at once, it makes you rethink whether you actually need that product rather than just wanting it. And this brings us to the second aspect which I was talking about. And this is slightly psychological and not exactly technical, but it's hugely important. Deciding whether you actually need a product or not. Now you might think, what is this guy talking about? Of course, I always buy the products that I need, but that may not be true in reality, as there is a big difference between what you need and what you want. And this applies with every purchase that you make in life, whether that's a big or a small one. You see, there is a concept called hedonic adaptation, which tricks you into thinking that you need to make this purchase as that would make you happy, but in actuality, that won't be the case and it won't add any value to your life. I made a video about this concept, the link's here, and I'll provide in the description as well. Please make sure you go ahead and watch that and you'll be able to understand this more clearly. Plus, this becomes more important in the context of a no-cost EMI, because earlier there was at least a friction that you had to pay an interest, and that would have avoided you from making any impulse purchase decisions. But now you know that I do not need to pay any interest, and you get to divide the cost between 3, 6 or 9 months. So that's great. So there is nothing stopping you from making that impulse purchase. And in fact, this is exactly what's happening, and this is what the banks and the sellers also want, because they want to make up for the discount that they're offering in higher volume, like we discussed earlier. So how should you decide whether you actually need a product or not, rather than just wanting it? You see, when you decide to buy a product, here's what you can do. Do not make that purchase immediately. Wait for around 1 week, and within that time, do not watch any ads or anything related to that particular product. This time that you're giving yourself will help you answer one very important question: whether this product will help you solve any practical pain point in your life, and whether there is not already an existing product that's solving it. If the answer to the above question is no, then you will mostly forget about the product in that 1 week's time, and the urge that you felt initially to buy the product will go down. If that happens, it's most likely the case that you do not need that product, but you want to buy that product. Because if you actually needed it in that 1 week's time, there would definitely be situations where you felt like, my life would have been easier if I had this particular laptop or this mobile or this watch or whatever it is that would have helped me do this more easily compared to what I'm doing now. If that doesn't happen, then you don't need the product. Now, my intention here is not to tell you what to buy and what not to buy, especially with your own money, but the objective here is to help you make the proper utilization of the money that you're working so hard to earn. That's the intention with which I want to consider what I'm saying. Now, one argument that might come up is, even if I have the whole money, I should go for an EMI, because then I get to save some money from my side and I can invest that money in the right places and earn a return that is higher than the interest. Well, if you can do that, it's great. Definitely you can do it. But for most people, like retail investors, this is not a viable option. But if you trade in stocks and you have a good experience in it, definitely you can go ahead and do that. So to sum it up, first decide whether you actually need a product or not. And if the answer to that question is yes, then see if you can pay the entire price of the product at once. And if the answer to that question is no, then you can go for a no-cost EMI. Otherwise, you can skip it. So that was it for this video, and until the next one, take care, see you, and bye-bye.